Welcome to Anything Cricket. Let's talk. We're broadcasting from the studios of the Caribbean Media Corporation, Bridgetown, Barbados. We've got a packed program for you today. Wayne Holder and Chemar Holder will be joining us, and we've got some special guests as well. I'm Philip Hackett, and you're watching Anything Cricket. Let's talk.
Carib Vision is now included in the OneSpot Media subscription package. It's simple. Search for onespotmedia.com, then log in, scroll over to the Live TV and Radio tab, and select CVTV from the drop-down menu, and watch the latest in Caribbean culture, news, and sports. It's that simple. Carib Vision is now on OneSpot Media. Subscribe today.
onespotmedia.com.
Welcome back. I've been joined by, on my right, Chemar Holder, and to my left, Chemar Holder. And of course, two cricketers from two different eras. Chemar certainly in the public domain over the last 4 years or so, and Ian more in the background, but playing just as vital a role as we will get to learn in a while. So Chemar, welcome to Anything Cricket. Let's talk.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And Ian, extend a welcome to you as well.
Pleasure being here, Philip, and we expect to have a good evening.
Yes, I would think so. I'm going to start with Chemar. You've been in the public domain, if you will, for the last 4 years since the Under-19 World Cup. How has it been? How have you been enjoying your cricket since then?
Well, after the World Cup, I would say that I've worked hard throughout the years, and everything's going well.
Mm-hmm. And where do you think you are in terms of, if you compare yourself now to 4 years ago, what do you think you have improved in? Where are the areas that you're probably stronger?
Well, fitness will be one, and I would say that I have gotten stronger, so I've been able to bowl longer spells, and these spells would maintain at the same speed.
Mm-hmm. You talk about fitness, and I understand that you were an athlete at school. I say were with some hesitation because I don't know if maybe you still have thoughts of pursuing that, but certainly you were a pretty successful athlete at school. So I was told.
Yeah, I did the 800 and the 15 more distant races,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was actually training seriously about athletics, but I had to pick between athletics and cricket at one stage.
And you made a wise choice, I would suggest.
I would say yeah, because I was actually offered a scholarship.
Uh-huh. You mean a track and field scholarship?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I also made the CCC team,
Right.
the Super 50 team that year.
And in a sense, that's where it started, because if I recall, you would have bowled for the CCC, and then shortly after that, drafted into the Under-19 side?
Yeah, I took 5 against Wingward,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say that might have been the performance that lead me to be called up against West Indies. For West Indies, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Before we get back to the track and field, though, what was it like being called up at the last minute virtually and having to travel and then play a very short time after?
Well, it wasn't a call that I was expecting,
Mm-hmm.
because they had reserves.
Mm-hmm.
They had reserves. There was a camp after. It was on the 19th in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
There was a camp after, and they didn't make the camp. So I wasn't expecting any call. But I was at school one day and I received a call on the phone, and I wasn't going to answer because I didn't know the number.
Oh, okay. I know that strategy. And I suppose that's a good time to show people what they may be missing all along, because you did decide to answer.
Yeah,
and your life hasn't been the same since, has it?
Yeah, after the second call, I decided to answer to see what was going on. So yeah, when I picked up the phone, it was the selector, and he told me that I have been selected to replace someone who was injured.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. And let's get back to the whole fitness thing, though, because you said that you were an athlete and you were pretty successful. You understand that you're also among the fittest of the current crop of West Indies players, contracted players? You are a contracted player, BD?
Yes.
Yeah, and I understand you're among the fittest based on the tests that have been done.
Well, yeah, the last test that we had recently, I ran the most.
Mm-hmm.
I was among Barbados. I'm not sure if among the region. But
Okay, but among the Barbadians,
yeah,
for sure.
among the Barbadians.
Any connection between that, you think, and the track and field?
Well, I would say that.
Or your track background, I should say.
Yeah, the track background helped me a lot, especially distance running. I find it kind of easy.
Okay. Well, you're going to go over to your uncle who I understand is also your manager and mentor. And I suppose those roles should give, the fact that you play those roles is some insight maybe into the support system that is required for cricketers nowadays.
Yes, I would definitely say that the support is definitely needed for young players. And Chemar has a family background of cricket in that. My brother Ian, we also played first division cricket at Barbados level, and we both work together to try to give him the guidance and the preparation. But one thing I can say with Chemar is that Chemar is very good in terms of the knowledge of the game. And there are many times that he just needs to be tweaked a little bit, but in many cases, especially on the big day, I would say that if Chemar was asked to play in the West, the world team now, he would perform well because it's a big occasion and he strives on big occasions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how difficult really is it to manage you could virtually say a professional cricketer nowadays?
Chemar is not difficult in that he's a cricketer that listens, and he's one who would also make a contribution into the debate. It wouldn't be like, okay, uncle, whatever you say, that is where we go. We discuss and we look at the options, and generally, Chemar is on top of his game. You know, there are times when I would watch a game, because I try to make sure that I watch so that I can critique and make any judgments after the game. And generally, when I watch the game and I see Chemar making judgments in terms of different batsmen, right? We have like, I don't want to give you all secrets, but we have a certain thing as far as left-handers go.
Well, I don't play. I've passed that now in terms of many things, fitness, age, and all sorts of things. So you don't have to worry with me. Apart from that, I was right-handed. So speak freely.
Yeah. So you will find that left-handers, Chemar has developed the ability to work them out, and you will find that even going back to the under-19, he always tends to be very difficult in terms of bowling to the left-handers. He's difficult to both sides, but I just want to identify the fact that he has developed a technique towards left-hand batsmen that makes him very, very difficult to handle.
What do you think Chemar is the background behind that? Is it something that just happened, or is it something you actually studied and planned for?
No, well, it took a lot of practice, a lot of net practice, and concentration, I would say. Because sometimes it wouldn't be going how you want it to go, but you still got to work on it. And eventually it works out.
And in addition to that strategy and the various strategies that you use, how important is pace? Where does pace fit in? You know, there's some bowlers who they've got to really be on top of the game in terms of pace all the time. Then there are others who are more concentrating on other things, movement, on line and length, and so on. What is most important to you?
Well, for me, I believe once I put the ball in good areas, and with the pace I have, with the slight movement, that I would get the reward.
You think the pace is where you would want it to be?
No, actually, I believe that strength building is still developing. I don't think Chemar has reached his full body strength in terms of his development. I think that, I'm saying like 23, 24, Chemar is going to be trouble all over in terms of, he's going to be stronger, pace is going up a bit more, and right now, the lengths that he has been hitting, which is his normal bowling lengths, it creates problems for more of his batsmen. So with that extra pace and bounce, I think that in the next couple of years, he's ready now, but in the next couple of years, it's going to be
he's ready now, and he was even more ready last time he played. Tell us about that fantastic performance in the last round of the competition. You know, the 4-day competition.
Well, we were bowled out before the end of this play, so we had a couple of overs to run the guys. So the plan was to go at them hard, because we know how the Jamaicans bat. So the plan was to run at them hard, and the captain was saying that no one likes to bat the last session, which would be the evening session.
Right.
So the plan was to run at them hard and keep attacking. And it worked out for me. Yeah, it worked out for me. So I just stick with the plan.
Yeah.
Keep coming hard, keep coming hard. That was the saying that I was getting from Chemar as well. He said, you'll feel a bit sore, a bit stiff, but keep pulling hard, just keep pulling.
So lots of encouragement from him. What is it like really playing with a player like Chemar, who has done it all virtually in his throughout his career?
It's good because with him being able to back me up, come from one end and just hold, and then me just being able to express myself. As I was saying, just bowl and don't worry about anything. Yes, I don't want to go for runs. Yes, I want to take wickets. But I believe in 4-day cricket, the plan is to stay patient, and that's what he was saying. Don't try to go for the wicket. Just bowl dot balls and the wicket will come.
Okay. Do you feel any pressure though, given the other young fast bowlers around who are trying to make a name for themselves as well? How much pressure really is that on you, or how much do you feel?
To believe it or not, I don't really focus on that. I just focus on my game. I focus on performing and making sure that I'm ready for any game that's coming up. I don't really think about it's me versus this person. It's me versus me.
Okay.
That's what I think. That's what I think.
I want to make a comment before we move off of pace, and in terms of support and mentorship.
Right.
One of the things that we have added to Chemar's repertoire this year is aggression.
Yeah.
His uncle, and then we
know him to be a very aggressive person, so I suppose that helps.
Yeah. We thought that generally young fast bowlers don't tend to focus on that area of their bowling, but we thought that adding that package to his repertoire makes a difference to batters facing him, and then that at any time you can get that delivery that will make you uncomfortable.
So how does one go about developing that aggression? I'm sure you're not only talking about body language, although that's maybe a part of it too.
Yeah.
But so how do you get this aggression in terms of what?
It's a mental process. What we found was that Chemar tends to try to get wickets. So you try to bowl lengths, wicket balls. But what happens is that suddenly you get a flat track, that batsman come and sit down on you and relax. So we thought that it would be important to have that aggression added to it, so that batsmen are always nervy a little bit. So when that delivery will come, that will make them uncomfortable. So we encourage him to try to be more aggressive in his bowling.
And when you consider that and his development altogether, are you happy, with the point that he's at right now?
Yes, we're very pleased with the point Chemar is at. Because I remember Chemar at 13 years old bowling at Carlton, and there was a delivery that Desmond Hayes probably will still talk about, an aggressive ball that really created some buzz at Carlton that day. I think that one ball carried Chemar to Barbados. So they say the Center of Excellence.
Oh, okay.
And then things just start moving from there. Yeah.
Okay, you remember that one ball, Chemar?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, certainly. Sometimes not necessarily something you can plan, but you just get that inspiration sometimes. Yeah. Okay. So what is really involved though? Give us some insight into the management of a player. Yes, the advice and things of that nature, but are there sometimes even more mundane things that need to be done?
Yes, what we found is that Chemar's cricket is very, very well structured and organized. But the thing is, the mental approach to the game. He's going to be exposed to situations where things aren't going well sometimes, and you need to stay focused. Sometimes there are situations where his feeling, for instance, he may get some drop catches off his bowling. He needs to stay. We try to encourage him in terms of development to always stay focused and realize that it's a team game.
Right.
All right? And everyone, whatever happens on the field, all 11 players are responsible. So always, it's more the mental side of the youth development that we think needs that strengthening and encouraging.
Okay. All very interesting indeed. We're going to hear a bit more from Ian and Chemar after a break on Anything Cricket. Let's talk.
Carib Vision is now included in the OneSpot Media subscription package. It's simple. Search for onespotmedia.com, then log in, scroll over to the Live TV and Radio tab, and select CVTV from the drop-down menu, and watch the latest in Caribbean culture, news, and sports. It's that simple. Carib Vision is now on OneSpot Media. Subscribe today.
onespotmedia.com.
Welcome back. Chemar, it has been a busy time for you, especially since your excellent bowling performance against Jamaica. And you've been impressive during the course of the season. It means that you've been in demand. You're here with us, and I'm sure that you have been asked for interviews, by other agencies. You've been in the newspaper as well, you understand, as the athlete of the week. How do you deal with all this attention amidst trying to develop your cricket?
Well, I don't really focus on that much because it's not the first time I have been in the paper. I would say my big moment, or one of my big moments, was when I was only 17 and I took 5 against Windward. That's when CCC won.
Yes, remember that?
Yeah, like they were saying that 70-year-old. So I don't really focus on it much. I just do what I have to do and keep working on my game.
What really gives you the inspiration to keep going though? What really motivates you most of all?
Well, my family helps me a lot. They're like my biggest fans, and then also my grandmother.
Okay.
I remember my grandmother telling me that to keep working, that everything will work out in time, and everywhere I play, she was there.
Okay.
She was there night, day, early morning. She was there. Even when I played the World Cup, she went down with my uncle and they sit down and watch the whole game. She didn't sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't see when they come back. She was there, happy, smiling. So my grandmother, I would say my grandmother pushed me a lot.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, to get to the highest level.
And you had that stint in Australia as well. How did that go?
That was actually good. It was I would say it was a good program. I went to the Darlington Academy in Adelaide. It was a well-structured program in terms of fitness, eating, conditioning, and skill level. I also played for a team down there, Port Adelaide. I took some wickets. I also grabbed a 5-wicket haul in one of the games. I played 3-day cricket, 50 over and T20.
Wow. And
their 3-day cricket is very competitive. Like here, people tend to like bat a day and let the score runs. Over there, they tend to let the score quick and get the other team in.
Okay.
So it's a lot of competitive cricket.
I see. That's done well for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, and also bowling on the wickets. Like so, the wickets always have on grass, good bounce.
Yeah.
So for me, it was hitting a fuller length. Because my normal lengthy ball would just bounce, the guys would just leave it alone. And the coach was like, the coach told me this when I went England. When I went Hampshire. The coach told me that it's going to look good, but I need to attack the sticks, make the batsman play as much balls as possible.
Right.
And that helped me going forward.
So you've bowled in various parts of the world. How difficult it is to adjust to various conditions, Australia, England, the Caribbean?
I would say England, the ball tends to just slide onto the bat. You get a good bounce, you see the grass, the ball tends to just go straight onto the bat. Here, the ball tends to keep low, one might bounce, one, the pitch might be slow. Australia, you get the zip, one might with steep bounce, enough grass. And then also different balls, different conditions, cool. Yeah. England was kind of cool when I went down for the 18 series. And Australia was hot and cold.
And if you go back to Ian, what's ahead really now in terms of pulling or pushing Chemar along?
Yes, well, as would have been indicated earlier, we want to continue to strengthen his mental aspect of the game. And we believe that as a fast bowler, it is very important to know the cricket game and also know the mental forces that will come with it as you develop. And I believe that this continuous support, we will continue the family to give him all of the support needed. And we expect that his fitness, as we would have mentioned earlier, and he was not sure if it was local, in terms of his comparison, but Condé really did indicate that he is the fittest cricketer in the Caribbean, not Barbados.
Okay. Certainly that's a big compliment coming from someone like Condé already, the BCA chief, who we know is, I wouldn't say a hard taskmaster, but has high standards.
High standards, yeah.
And talking about high standards, you mentioned at the start of the program that Wayne would have played for Division, and you didn't talk much about yourself though. Just to establish the whole,
yes, well,
the whole Holder cricketing clan, so to speak.
Right. Well, Wayne is.
I mean, if you played for Pickwick also.
Right.
And
Wayne is the older two.
Well?
Played for Division as well.
Yeah.
Wayne is the older of the two, and we both went to law school. So when I went into law school, he was the advanced player.
Okay.
And therefore, he would have been responsible for encouraging me and getting me into the senior team. I actually played the senior school team at 15. Having had a good on the 15, what we call round of 3 season. Yeah. I was promoted into the big boys team early, and two of us played together in that team.
So you're saying, but go ahead.
Yeah. Now, he would have then graduated from school before me, and he went on to play for YMPC.
Right.
I came out later, and I would have played for Pickwick for a division.
Right.
The funny thing about it is that we never met
against each other
in the first division competition.
And both of you kept making, huh?
No, I bought a little explain that confused the batsman a bit, and I never keep.
But you were a batsman, the recognized batsman?
We were recognized batsman.
But the part I'm just having difficulty getting past, that you're mentoring Chemar, that I can understand. But you're saying that Wayne mentored you?
Yeah, so you generally understand that as Wayne and I, we are very close friends. We always stuck together. I went to say from birth. Yeah. We wrote everything we did together. And he was a better player than I because of age. The older player, he would be better initially, so you have to get some guidance from your bigger brother. I
think we'll have to show Wayne a lot more respect now in the media with that sort of reference coming from you, even if you were his brother. I think we'll have to look at Wayne in a different light. Anyhow, it's been nice chatting with you guys, Chemar and your uncle and what do you call him, Uncle Ian or manager?
Uncle Ian.
Uncle Ian. Yeah, and Uncle Ian.
Thanks.
Who I don't know if we can't speak everything. There's a connection here as well.
Yeah.
Even if not merely cricket, a professional connection that we shared some time ago, and we can leave our viewers to. I think they know enough about me and maybe about you to some extent to work that out, because you want to share the other side of your life. Of course, you are
presently the principal of Parkinson Memorial School, and continue to work with young people. I've been teaching now for a long time. I may call that number of people don't go there. You've been teaching for a long time. But we work, and I always enjoy working with young people. Yeah. And I'm actually now the kind of chairperson for sports for BAPS. So I've taken that responsibility because I'm interested in seeing the youth of Barbados develop to the highest level in terms of their cricketing skills. So we work closely with the BCA to try to see what we can do to improve the cricket within the country among the youth. And we'll probably want to have you back. We'll definitely want to have you back at some point to talk further on that. But what I can say for sure is that the dedication I know you've shown to young people, not related to you over the years, if you show half of that to the progress of this young man, we know that he's in great hands. Thank you. Okay, so we'll be back on Anything Cricket. Let's talk.
Carib Vision is now included in the OneSpot Media subscription package. It's simple. Search for onespotmedia.com, then log in, scroll over to the Live TV and Radio tab, and select CVTV from the drop-down menu, and watch the latest in Caribbean culture, news, and sports. It's that simple. Carib Vision is now on OneSpot Media. Subscribe today.
onespotmedia.com
The West Indies Championship has reached the end of the third round of competition, and the players are getting a deserved break after that. I think that the competition seems to be truly tough. Ayana, I'm sure that you'll want to share the standings with us to give some idea as to how tight it is at the top.
Yeah, it's very tight at the top, really, because Guyana Jaguars have 44.6 points, and those 0.1 points come from bowling points, and Barbados behind with 44.4. Windward Island Volcanoes are in third with 32.8, with Trinidad and Tobago right first behind them on 0.2 by 0.2 again with 32.6. Leeward Islands Hurricanes have 26.6, and Jamaica Scorpions at the bottom with 21.2. So that it will be very interesting to see how Pride match up against the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, and the Scorpions will be up against the Jaguars. So it will be very interesting to see how those two games come off.
So just remind us of the points in terms of the two games, the matchups again. You're saying that the next round will be?
Guyana will be playing the Scorpions.
Guyana on 44.6. We'll be playing the Scorpions
with
on
21.2.
21.2.
And Barbados with 44.4. They will be playing Leeward Islands with 26.6.
Okay.
Something of a top and bottom. Yeah. Actually, the two top teams playing against the two bottom teams in the next round.
Yeah. So then, what are your observations so far from the West Indies Championship?
Well, it's interesting to note that, as is normally the case, and I don't know when we're going to see a return to the days of the region's really top players, the best players in the region playing in the competition. I mean, well, that may be a positive and that may be desirable. It is also quite healthy that we get an opportunity to see what the reserve in West Indies cricket really is. And I think this competition has brought the lesser lights, let's put it that way, to the fore as far as most of the teams are concerned. Of course, there are teams who are affected more than others as far as having losing players to, let's say, to the international level, to the international team. And we know of a case with Barbados, for instance, where as many as 7, 8 of your leading players may very well be out of your national team for good reason, normally for good reason. So it is good to see the talent that has been on display, and there has been some good talent.
I was just going to ask you to share with us if the lesser lights have been shining.
Yes, I mean, well, we see
Well, we can't forget young Chemar Holder.
Well, right. I mean,
who would have bowled so brilliantly, even although you may not want to say that.
Yeah, no. Chemar has done well. Both Chemar and Keon Harding are playing for Barbados. Remember, in the early stages of the competition, Harding really hit the straps quite early in the very first game. Right. That was against the Windwards for Barbados.
Drake is going to get a chance again now with Roach being rested.
Well, yes,
I shouldn't say will get a chance. He's in the squad.
He's been brought into the squad, yes. Yeah. And he was in the squad initially, before Roach came in. Before Roach came in. So, yes, that is the Barbados side of things. And you go down through some of the other teams.
But before you get to the other teams, though, we talked about a couple of fast bowlers, 2 or 3 fast bowlers. I know in terms of the batting, the opening batsman from Wonders, Shane Mosley, he has struggled somewhat, although in that struggle, it has given me reason to admire him, because he has been trying to fight it out, and he's not been his fluent best. But he's certainly shown an inclination to fight.
You've used the key word, he's fought.
He's fought, and that's important, because on a bad day, you should be able to struggle and score even a 20 or 30.
Shane did concern me somewhat, because the progress that he had shown up to last season, playing at the regional level, suggested that there was further development to come. And I became a bit concerned because he seemed to go a little bit backward, especially on the local scene. You know, his numbers didn't add up to...
But it would have set a standard that would be hard to maintain, though.
Well, yes, I guess that may have been it. Maybe that, as you said, the standard he had set, maybe I was expecting.
Yeah. And it's going to be a long season. There's still
Yes.
seven more matches to come.
No, but I was speaking. Yes, like I said, he has done well since since the regional competition has started. I was referring to the local domestic competition, where he didn't really bang down the door as he had in previous seasons. And like I said, I was a bit concerned because of that. But ever since the regional competition, the West Indies Championship has started, he has shown me that he hasn't lost that ability that we had become familiar with over the last couple of seasons.
We're going to get back to the Barbados team, but Ayana, I know you've been keeping a very close eye on some of the other players as well. Who's been impressive so far?
There's a guy called Niall Smith out of Guyana who played in the second round of matches here at Kensington Oval. And he seems to have a bit of pace. And looking at the stats here, he has 16 wickets in 3 matches, and he helped Guyana to their victory over Red Force in the round 3 game. Because I think this is his first season at the first class level, and he's one of the players that jumped out at me when I saw him here. But one of the notable things I see here is that there are at least 4 pacers in the top 10 wicket takers in the tournament so far. And normally,
the spinners
normally, I mean, Pramod is still at the top. I mean, but he's equal, he has the same amount of wickets as Chemar, Smith, and Akil Hossain. But it's interesting to see that they're pacers in the spotlight as well. And it might be showing something about the pitches that are being prepared now, and I think that's a good sign.
There's a guy by the name of Shino Berridge from the Leewards.
Yes,
he had a very good Super 50 competition, and I've noticed that he's kept his name up there. He's been taking some wickets. He took a 5-wicket haul in the third series of matches also. So his is a name that I have noted, Shino Berridge. He's been around for a bit. He's not exactly new as like a Niall Smith, for example, but he's showing some development. And I was glad to welcome back Sherman Lewis from the Windward Islands. You know, Sherman Lewis, who had played, who had toured, it was Bangladesh with the West Indies, coming out.
They surprised some people.
Coming out of the West Indies A setup, but he had some problems with injuries, and it's good to see that he's back. He's been among the wickets, and his is a name.
Are we on the topic of fast bowlers or bowlers? Because we talked about several fast bowlers, Barbados and the region. We talked about Pramod, we mentioned Akil Hossain. And the only batsman we really talked about is Shane Mosley, who has not been having the best of times. Is there a story in that somewhere?
Well, that you're saying that batsmen have been struggling.
Well, is it that the batsmen have been struggling, or is it that you haven't had the chance to mention?
Well, that is it, because I'm sure Ayana has the stats there, and I'm sure somewhere along the line the name Kyle Mears has to come up.
That was my next point. I was pleased to see Kyle Mears make a return to first class cricket because he missed last year's competition due to injury, and he's back with a bang. He has 1 century and 3 50s, and I'm very pleased to see that, because although I know that first class cricket and CPL are not really associated with one another, I was pretty disappointed that Kyle Mears, the type of player that he is, missed the CPL last year. So I'm very glad to see that he's back into the competition and showing the form that.
And I understand he's not going to be doing a whole lot of bowling for the time being.
From all reports, I was told that he had been a bit sore, so he was mainly focusing on his batting, and it seems to be paying off for him.
Blessing in disguise?
Well, as far as Kyle Mears is concerned, I don't think that he would be happy or be 100% happy not being in the forefront with the ball, because he is by nature not bringing an out-and-out all-rounder.
Yeah, but I said that, or I'm suggesting that, or asking that question from the point of view that West Indies cricket has not in the last 20 years or so been short of all-rounders.
Yes, but
you know, unless you're going to be, you've got really something special about your bowling, like a Jason Holder, for example. You know, I think the ones who the selectors will be looking at for higher service will be those who can get some scores.
Yeah, you're onto something there though, because as you said, maybe a blessing in
Isn't his
disguise
batting good enough
that
to make it as a batsman?
That he is now more focused on
And forced
batting,
to
which
justify
is really
himself.
the stronger part of his game.
Exactly.
To be honest
Yeah,
with you, I can concede.
I mean,
that.
let's face it. I mean, if you look at the West Indies setup now, the last thing you really need is an all-rounder.
Well, as I said, you need to be strong in an area.
When I say that, don't misunderstand me. If you can get someone averaging 45 with the bat and let's say averaging 18 or 20 runs per wicket, that's fine. But that's a real high-class all-rounder.
Talking about Jack Callis.
I'm not saying that's bad. That could never be a bad thing. In fact, even a Jason Holder, who many will not want to put in the same class as Callis, but his performance in terms of what he's been able to achieve, you can't really deny it. So what I'm saying is, unless you're going to be that quality all-rounder, then it may be better if you focus on one or the other and really maximize that potential.
Although it has thrown off the balance, Kyle's not bowling has kind of thrown off the balance of the Barbados.
But I'm looking at what is good for him as he moves forward.
Yes, I agree with you though. You're what do you say, preaching to the pastor here.
Oh, okay.
I want to say, well, it kind of thrown off the balance of the team, probably in a way, but Kyle batting at number 5 and in the form that he's in has opened up a spot for another, well, probably for an all-rounder who would be capable of managing both bat and ball.
But I guess Kevin Stoke got that job before he was.
But no, we brought Kevin Stoke into the side and he played one game. He didn't really impact on anything. On the other game, he was ill or something like that. So I think we still need to work out the balance for the rest of the tournament. But I would really love Kyle to focus on the batting because I think that he's capable enough of doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
We're going to finish this discussion though. We're talking about batsmen, especially, and don't mention Darren Bravo. Back in the fold, it was purposely determined that he should come back to the regional level and rebuild his game. I think he has been doing a fairly good job of it up to this point, and it's very encouraging for the prospects of the West Indies going forward to have a Darren Bravo. I've also noticed he started to do some bowling and picking up a wicket or two in between, another feather to his bow. But he, for one, Kieran Powell, another one of those players who have fallen out of favor. He's back, not setting the world on fire, but at least he's back there, and
give the selectors some options.
There are prospects.
Yeah. Is it too much to ask to hope that people like Evan Lewis and Nicholas Pooran at some point will be able to get a touch of this first-class cricket?
Nicholas Pooran in particular, I really, 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 really hope that he understands the need to play first-class cricket, because I believe that he has the ability to be an all-format player. So I really hope that his mentors can guide him in that direction.
In the case of the two names you mentioned, it may be a bit difficult in that, okay, from here, the West Indies have a white ball assignment in Sri Lanka.
When do they leave?
They leave within the second week in February.
So they leave after the completion of the next round of matches?
Yes, they do.
Before?
Yeah, before, probably in the middle of.
Right, so they go to that. And then these guys have also been signed up with the IPL. And the IPL gets going
End of March.
Right, sometime in April, whereby that IPL window has been.
You recall my question. Is it too much to ask? Because my fear is that these guys will not really maximize their
What I'm saying is that the opportunity is not going to be there for those particular players.
And it's sad because you're asking them to do something that no one else has ever done. If you check the best performers in white ball cricket, they're all players who would have come through the red ball, long format cricket, and in many cases are still involved at some level. Personally, I feel that you learn cricket in the longer formats, and I fear for the future of these guys if they continue to concentrate wholly and solely on white ball cricket. I'm not talking at the international level. I'm not saying that the guy has to play test cricket for the West Indies. What I'm saying is that you develop your cricket skills, in my opinion. And that opinion is based on years of observation. You learn your cricket in that format. And then you can take that and apply it to anything else.
And we will both tell you that you're preaching to the converted. But
See,
one
I've
of
done
the
a lot
issues,
of preaching to
one of the issues though is that because the West Indies had to change their format, the time that we play our first class cricket and stuff like that, has made it difficult for players to be available to play, as he mentioned before, to play first class cricket. Because many times you have an international tour going on, then you have the IPL coming around, and you know the issues that we had when it comes to IPL and asking guys not to go, etc. So that is the issue that we have right now. So I'm not too sure how we'll get those guys to really come and play first class.
In the past, it was basically personal preference. These guys preferred to play the white ball cricket, work for the dollars. We've had a change of regime, something of a change of policy, and maybe going forward in the not too distant future, the possibility may exist that these guys will have the chance to get some first class cricket under their belts. What I want to continue to say though is that we have a number of players who have sat out the regional competition so far, who are going to be involved in that white ball tour to Sri Lanka. Once that tour is finished, those who are not going on to the IPL will once again become available for their regional franchises. And it would be nice, it's going to be good to see a number of those players back in the fold.
Certainly something to which we can look forward. And here is hoping that those who, the white ball specialists, can find a way for their own development to get some of the long format cricket. We'll be back on Anything Cricket. Let's talk.
Carib Vision is now included in the OneSpot Media subscription package. It's simple. Search for onespotmedia.com, then log in, scroll over to the Live TV and Radio tab, and select CVTV from the drop-down menu, and watch the latest in Caribbean culture, news, and sports. It's that simple. Carib Vision is now on OneSpot Media. Subscribe today.
onespotmedia.com.
That's our show. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to the Caribbean Media Corporation and Today Computer Services. Join us again soon for another episode of Anything Cricket. Let's talk.